Plant the seeds of love. There are a lot of useful metaphors that have been overused. Not necessarily overused, but used too often without really understanding them. Once I was at Griffith Park Observatory in Los Angeles. A buddy of mine and I had just finished watching a Pink Floyd laser show. When we came out, it was dark and a bunch of people had amateur telescopes set up. Kind of a club night or something. They were letting people walk around and look through the various telescopes at the various things they were pointed at. I was looking through one at Saturn and a couple of its moons. While I was looking, my buddy asked Telescope Guy a question. And while I was looking, Telescope Guy answered the question. About 10 minutes later, we were waiting for our turn at another telescope. And somebody else asked this Telescope Guy the same question. Since it was fresh in my mind, I answered it. Later, my friend asked me, "Is that all knowledge is?" Meaning, I didn't really know the answer. I knew the right words, but I didn't really know the meaning. There's a question in philosophy that kind of makes the same point. There's a Chinese-speaking person outside of a room. There's a guy inside the room. The Chinese person writes a question in Chinese and slides it under the door. They wait a little bit and the answer comes sliding back, written in Chinese. Now for the question. There are two options for the guy inside the room. One is a guy that can speak and write Chinese. The other is a guy who has no clue about Chinese, but he has a supercomputer with a huge question-answer lookup table. So he gets the right answers, but he has no idea what the question or answers are. The punchline is, how does the person outside the room know which is which? So back to those metaphysical points people like to make. How do we know they know what those really mean? Are they people who just listen to people say them and they copy and paste them from their brain to somebody else's brain? Just like my answer to Telescope Guy. I heard it and I repeated it a few minutes later. For example, most people have heard various metaphors for being patient. That if you plant a seed, it won't grow if you keep digging it up to check on it. Or if you have a cake in the oven, it won't cook if you keep opening the oven door. Here's a fantastic way to experience those two overused metaphors. Ask people questions that get them thinking about their ideal futures. Don't judge, don't approve, don't disapprove, don't even comment. Let those seeds grow and prepare to be amazed. What will they grow into? Appreciation, attraction, and even love. To learn how, visit mindpersuasion.com/deep-connections.